All right, now on to Adelaide. Okay, so Adelaide did a good job. The estimate I received was approximately 3,000 people, a really solid crowd getting out, standing up for freedom. I've got a little bit of a highlight clip of the protest that goes for about 1 minute, so I'm going to play that for you right now. Awesome job to Adelaide. I absolutely love it. It's great to see people getting out there. Now, I just have to say something, all right? I'm not trying to sound like a sore loser, but I think that here in Melbourne, and I mean no disrespect to my other fellow Australians, but if we weren't getting trampled on by Victoria Police, I believe truly we would have cracked 100,000 people on the streets of Melbourne if it wasn't for the police brutality, the rubber bullets, and the tear gas. And what this simply demonstrates is that we, the people, are not buying the fraud and corruption of the government. We see it for what it is. And I know that there are many of us holding the line, and the battle has really just begun. So if you are holding the line, buckle up because it's going to be a long fight. Now, what I have here is an interview with James Hall. He's from Adelaide. He's been outspoken, standing up for freedom, standing against the government. He's been active at protests. I have a little interview to just give a recap of what happened on the day. It goes for about 4 minutes. I'm going to play that for you right now. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are joined here by James Hall from Adelaide. James, welcome to MCJ Report. Now, to start off with, could you please talk to us a little bit about the rally in Adelaide over the weekend? How many people roughly do you think attended? And talk to us a little bit about the crowd.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me, Morgan. I was at the rally on the 16th of October on Saturday. There was probably about 3,000 people, I would say, roughly. And it was, I've been to a few of them. I think this is my fourth protest I've been to. There was definitely a lot more momentum. The numbers were quite big, probably one of the biggest we've had. And also just the sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Just the sort of passion behind it was a lot more intense than I had found in previous protests.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for that. Now, here in Melbourne, and we've also seen throughout some other cities in the country and overseas, the media has attempted to, I suppose, delegitimize the message of the protesters by labeling them certain terms associated with extremism. Did you see anything like that at the protest?
Yeah, I looked at a few social media posts of the mainstream media outlets afterwards. They seemed a bit nicer that particular time. They did call us a freedom rally. Usually they call us like an anti-vax rally or something along those lines. So that was kind of nice. Of course, they underestimated the numbers. They said it was in the hundreds, which I suppose is technically true, but it's a bit misleading. But they definitely do that. And the thing that gets me the most is you can see them there. They're actually in the crowd, they're filming, and then it's obvious that they come out with it's not just a mistake, it's an actual lie.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'd like your take on it. Why do you think that lie is perpetrated?
I think it's hard. I think a lot of it's just incompetence. A lot of people want to put it to some big conspiracy, but I think a lot of it's incompetence. And that's a big part of it. But I do think that, the government advertises a lot on those networks. The government's basically a big customer of those networks. And I think that it is against their interests to go with a sort of pro-freedom or pro-the movement sort of message.
Definitely. Now, about the rally, was there anything that surprised you on the day?
Yeah, I was quite surprised by the turnout because the turnout at the start wasn't huge and then it started really filling up. I thought it was really good. And as I said, it was really not just the numbers, but just the sort of passion and the intention and the meaning behind it seemed very, a lot more intense than the previous protests that I've been to.
All right, perfect. And what were the overall concerns of the protesters? What were they asking for?
Yeah, so the main thing is just in SA recently, we've just brought in a vaccine mandate for nurses. So I think that was a big part of it. But it's generally a freedom message. We heard from a few candidates from some minor parties that are running at both the federal and the state level, and yeah, it's sort of anti-mandates, anti-passports, pro-freedom. I would say is a good way to sum it up.
Perfect. That's definitely what we need more of for sure. All right,
Exactly.
now, is there any other message that you'd like to get out to the people of Adelaide, Australia, and or our international audience?
Yeah, I think it's just great to have so many people supporting freedom, and I know it can seem pretty tough, particularly in this country at the moment. But it's good to see there's so many people who support, and for every one that comes to a protest, there's probably at least 10 that wanted to that couldn't. And it's good that we can support the people like you guys in Melbourne, where we can come out and where you guys can't. So I just hope we can get a bit more of that coming.
Perfect. All right, James. Well, thank you very much for your time. Keep
Thank you.
protesting, and we hope to have you back on the show soon.
No problem. Thanks, mate.
Thank you. All right, a big thank you to James from Adelaide. Now, guys, James is quite active on Twitter. His handle is in the description of this video. So feel free, if you're on Twitter, to go ahead and give him a follow. And let's keep this show rolling along, shall we?